on, turn that off. Cool. And we've got censorship is inherently evil. Thank you, Eric. So, again, I'm not a big reader of Covert Action magazine per se, but this one was shared in the Indie Left News by one of the lefty content creators that I don't even remember who it was. But Jeremy Kuzmarov did write a really interesting article about how if the NED is subverting democracy, why aren't some of the left media calling it out? And we, of course, have been. The Gray Zone has been. Stephen Kinzer, of course, has been. But there are others who certainly have not been. And here you go. The media groups
Stephen Kinzer, for those who don't know.
Stephen Kinzer. He's a journalist that is writing, in this case, for... They're going to talk about that. Who is Stephen Kinzer? I believe he was a former somebody very sharp. Who's Stephen Kinzer?
No, give me back my lighter.
By the way, this article is like super duper long, so I'm not going to go through the whole thing. You guys going to have to go through this yourself.
Yeah.
All right. Media group. So again, Matt Kennard, Mark Curtis, writing for Declassified, disclosed the NED, which is a nonprofit funded by Congress, has plowed more than £2.6 million into 7 independent British media groups over the last 5 years. And I don't think that that the one at the very end is going to be a surprise to anybody. Bellingcat. We've been talking about Bellingcat for quite a while. But all of these, Open Democracy is another one that's pretty well known for promoting the disinformation, lending support for regime change operations in countries such as Russia and Syria. For example, I know that they were in support of the White Helmets. In Syria. So, again, through the work of Jimmy Carter Center to secure fair and transparent elections, the NED has been involved since its founding in 1983 in trying to undermine or remove governments independent of Washington, including democratic ones in Bolivia, Ecuador, and Venezuela. Doesn't really take much to really see that happening. And again, this is going to have receipts. It's going to take you through CIA whistleblower.
I don't remember that name.
Well, I
remember that name way too well, but yeah,
I think he went on 60 Minutes. Okay, having the CIA go around behind the scenes trying to manipulate the process. Now they just are the media. Now they just support the media. Right, so Alan Weinstein confirms this research, and then we've got that guy, John something from back in the 70s, how like they were just feeding stories to the media all the time, and 30% of it
this is during that
was false.
What was that Ben Affleck movie?
Oh, that's Argo. Again,
but that's around the same.
This was from 2010. Said that the NED was established by Congress in effect to take over the covert propaganda efforts. All right. Article provides an overview of NED's history. All right. A discussion of its reach. Noam Chomsky wrote about what the true agenda of the NED was. Again, it's pulling in quotes
impose what is called democracy, meaning rule by the rich and powerful without interference by the mob, but within the framework of formal electoral procedure. Okay.
So, the NED has been known, again, Missionaries for Democracy, again, super duper long. Look at how long this thing goes. It just goes and goes and goes. It's like a book in itself. Okay? So,
Jesus. You went plaid.
Jeremy Kuzmarov.
You went straight to plaid.
My goodness, he's the managing editor, so he's the guy. He had something to say here. And again, I encourage everybody to look at this and to go through it. I have not gone through all of it yet, and I certainly intend to. And there is now an app, I believe, that will read this out to you. I've been seeing it show up in my timeline quite a bit.
Who reads it?
You just have it scroll.
Samuel
you just
Jackson,
give it the website. No, I think it's more like an androgynous voice, but maybe.
Gotcha.
I'm not going to do a Sam Jackson.
Microsoft Sam.
I'm not even going to bother trying to do a Microsoft, but this is,
You remember
again,
Microsoft, Sam?
So who isn't calling it out? Well, we know who isn't calling out Bellingcat. It's the ones who actually rely on Bellingcat, at least in the left media space, right? It is
Right.
the David Doles. It is the TYTs. It is the Mike
Mm-hmm.
Figueredos. It is,
Yeah.
as our friend Carl likes to say, the Brian Taylor
Slibs.
Green. I don't even know that guy until he started talking about Brian Taylor Green. Oh, look at this. We go all the way back to Ollie North and Grenada, 1980s, NED.
Ronald Reagan.
They have been there destabilizing governments in order to put our quote-unquote democracy in place that will be friendly and sell us resources. Wow, look at Barney Frank with the big fro. That's old. All right.
Yep.
In the 1980s, he tried to halt funding, saying that we're not going to try to say we're not going to fund public transportation or research on cancer because we've got to give money to a French union for political purposes. Just doesn't seem reasonable. Well, yeah, we've been doing this since the 80s, buying off foreign press sources to plant stories that are friendly to us. Sometimes they're accurate, sometimes they're complete fabrications. Again, there's tons of receipts and tons of data in here. It's a treasure trove, really. National Endowment for Attacking Democracy, which is actually, and again, regional breakdown of all their major activities. So comprehensive. Yeah. Great work, really. Can't even imagine how long it took to assemble all this data. I mean, years. This is years worth. And not only to assemble, but he had to have the knowledge in the first place to know all of this. Look at that from Reporters Without Borders. All kinds of wild stuff. Eurasia, what's happening in Eurasia. And there you get Boris all the way back to 1992. Right?
He tried to copy Bill's hairstyle, but it did not work out.
And our friend, not our friend, but
Alexei Navalny.
Yes, who also is a friend of
God, he looks like the bad guy in a Russian movie.
Yeah, but
he looks like he's going to kill Bond.
He's our guy. We act like he's the bad guy, except he's our guy. And again, this is only about halfway down the article. It's insane how long this thing is, and so good. Again, color revolution. Hey, we know we have somebody in the chat talking about a color revolution.
Yeah.
How about that? So now we're talking. Somebody wants a carnation revolution. Well, we just had a failed color revolution in one of the Baltic states, if I remember correctly, or at least they've been talking about it. I believe it was Kazakhstan. There was a failed color revolution at the moment.
It's nice.
My sister, okay, but 2004 color revolution replaced Yanukovych with Viktor Yushchenko, who favored admitting Ukraine to NATO and adopted IMF structural adjustment program that benefited U.S. investors while cutting social programs. Okay. And what did that do? Further antagonized Russia because it further pushed the borders closer. And that's that's led to where we are today. And that's one of the things that we covered last week with the site shared by Esha. And thank you to Esha for sharing this stream tonight. Okay, again, what the NED is doing down in South America, I don't think there's much of a secret about what they tried to do with the hit squad in Venezuela, what they did in training the squad that actually was effective in Haiti and assassinating the leader there. Again, they go through all this.
When do we get to them? We're almost there.
Right.
Evo Morales.
Evo.
Which I heard we were going back to. He was ousted by
Áñez, right? And now she's who has since been arrested on charges of genocide for having ordered the massacre of pro-Morales demonstrators. Nice.
Jesus.
She was some piece of work. I remember when she came in. Ooh, that was and in preparation for that, they poured almost $1 million into Bolivia in 2018. I'm sure some of that made it into Áñez, except that Áñez was famously wealthy in that country. They were one of the elite and one of the wealthy, and that's exactly what the NED does, is look to make sure that the wealthy stays in control. Okay. going back to Daniel Ortega.
See red.
That's
yep.
Ortega,
Nicaragua,
right?
yep.
And that was the whole thing with
Yeah.
Sandinistas and Noriega.
Yep. And we were getting there.
Right.
Back when the BRICS came on military planes.
Yep.
Thank you, Oliver North.
Yes, and by the way, he's mentioned earlier in this article too. Telling you, totally comprehensive, so good. All right, everybody, check this out. Yeah, here's the article. Covert Action Magazine again. I mean, not exactly one that I read regularly, but certainly a good data point to take into account. You know, it's what I would call the spook magazine, the spy magazine.
Nice. Do we get like a cool periscope out of cardboard?
By spies for spies, effectively, right?
No.
So, thank you to these guys for the knowledge and for the in-depth background, at least from one take. Cool. Hey, we're carrying signs now. Welcome.
Choozy's here.
Choosy, what's up, dude? Carnation Revolution, absolutely. We do not have democracy. We have demon crazy and the abducted demons mocking us. That is
Oregon,
unfortunately a pretty provable thesis. So thanks for coming and hanging out tonight.
You should be all right. Supposedly, you're like the only spot.
Oregon. Oh, good. Well, that's who we're gonna have to.
And they grow a lot of sunflowers out here for that radiation.
Right, so,